The man accused in a violent home invasion that killed a former state lawmaker's daughter did not plead guilty this morning. Shannon Gilday is charged with murder after police say he shot his way into a Madison County mansion and killed 32-year-old Jordan Morgan. Gilday's attorney has been trying to enter a guilty plea, but mentally ill. But that did not happen again today. WYMT's Phil Pendleton explains what's taking place in the high-profile and disturbing case.
It's the second day for Shannon Gilday's arraignment. The first time his attorney tried to enter a plea of guilty but mentally ill.
This is not a case that should ever go to trial.
Gilday's attorney says his client admits to everything that he's charged with doing on February 22nd, that he shot and killed Jordan Morgan and shot up her father's multi-million-dollar mansion and engaged in a shootout with the former lawmaker. But after trying to plead to that Thursday, the prosecution filed a notice of aggravating circumstances.
Since we were unable to go forward, the rules are clear that the court needs to carry the case forward.
The judge entered a plea of not guilty. The prosecutor says basically that there has not been enough evidence submitted in open court that Shannon Gilday is in fact mentally ill, and until that takes place, they say that they simply cannot accept a plea of guilty but mentally ill. What's next could likely be a mental evaluation, especially if the prosecution seeks the death penalty.
The other point that I made today, which I think is significant, is that the legislature has spoken and said that people who suffer from serious mental illness should not be subject to a death sentence.
That mental evaluation or hearing could be discussed or scheduled at the next court hearing, which will be July 22nd. In Madison County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Gilday remains in jail on no bond. We're told he is in isolation after an incident where he's accused of assaulting a jail guard. Also in Madison County, a tragic story where officials say a child drowned in a creek yesterday. It happened last night at a creek off Red Lick Road near Berea. Leo Xavier Schaus was fishing with his family on Red Lick Road last night. He went into a creek and was swept away. It took crews some time to get Leo out of the water. He was taken to the hospital where he died.
This is an emotional time. This was a child. We live here. We know them. So this is a very hard time for us. We will help the family. All they have to do is let us know what help they need.
The coroner says Schaus's body has been taken to Frankfort for an autopsy. A hiker needed to be rescued from the Red River Gorge on Friday after his dog bumped into him on a steep trail and caused him to fall. The dog was not hurt, but the hiker hurt his ankle and finger. The Wolfe County Search and Rescue team responded and put the man's ankle in a splint. The team took him to his car, where he drove himself to the hospital. In a Facebook post from Wolfe County Search and Rescue, the crews thanked bystanders who just happened to be physical therapists for helping with the rescue. DNA technology recently confirmed the remains of a missing Leslie County woman. Michaela Collett was last seen in October of 2020. Back in February, crews found 2 skulls after widespread flooding in Clay County. One of the skulls belonged to Collett. Her family provided DNA samples to police. Today, they announced it was a match. Collett was 21 years old. Her cause of death is still not known.
Weather remains quiet around the mountains as we run through the remainder of our Monday evening and into our Tuesday as well. Outside of some showers and storms this morning, it's been pretty nice outside. We look and see at the moment around the region, Mountain Parkway at Slade, all quiet. Just a few fair weather clouds out there this afternoon. Beautiful sunshine here at the WYMT studios here in Hazard. Looking fantastic. Temperatures around the region remaining rather mild. Upper 60s, low 70s around the area, though a few mid-70s sneaking in there. How about London and Middlesbrough at 74, as is Monticello. And Manchester checking in at 75 this evening. It's clean sweep on Pinpoint Doppler. We'd expect that. Our cold front off to the east. How about that? That's a tornado warning in Connecticut. You don't see that very often, but that's what that storm system continues to push on out of the region. We don't have to worry about it. And in fact, we're in for a rather quiet night around the mountains tonight. A little bit of patchy fog, especially in areas that saw some showers this morning, but Otherwise, we're in the low to mid 50s for overnight lows as we run through tonight. I'll have the very latest, though, on when some storms could return to our forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. We are on the eve of Election Day here in the Commonwealth, but state leaders say they are lowering their expectations for voter turnout in the primary. Secretary of State Michael Adams says 3 days of early voting went smoothly, but fewer Kentuckians took advantage of the option than he had hoped. Adams said about 116,000 people voted before Election Day. Based on that turnout, he is lowering his Election Day turnout prediction from 25% to under 20%. The Secretary of State says the low voter participation is likely due to the races on the ballot. Well, county clerks' offices across the region are preparing to ensure voting goes smoothly for everyone involved tomorrow. WYMT's Alyssa Williams was in Clay and Knox counties today to see the preparation they're making for their respective elections.
In the time leading up to the May primary election, county clerks like Beverly Kraft of Clay County are doing everything they can to prepare the polls.
It's Grand Central Station around here.
Kraft says the biggest hurdle in preparing for Tuesday's election has been securing election officers and retraining those who sat out in 2020.
We had quite a few elderly election officers that sat out that year, so a lot of their officers had never used this new equipment. So we had 5 or 6 sessions of hands-on training.
After counting mail-in ballots and noticing a decline in early voting, Kraft says she hopes more people are opting to vote in person on Tuesday.
So I'm hoping for a big turnout tomorrow since, but I really figured that we would have twice that many come and vote early for the convenience of it.
This year marks the first time that Knox Countyans will be able to vote at a voting center of their choice instead of their specific precinct.
It's a little bit different, but most folks seem to like it, and no matter where you are or whichever precinct vote center is convenient for you, you can cast your ballot there.
Knox County Clerk Mike Corey has traveled across the county to set up polls at each of the 12 voting sites, making sure everything is in place for Tuesday.
Elections are very important for our democracy, and we just hope we have a good turnout tomorrow.
Putting in the time and effort necessary before people hit the polls. Alyssa Williams, WYMT, Mountain News.
Knox County Clerk Mike Corey is reminding everyone to bring their driver's license or Kentucky State ID to make the voting process easier for yourself and those helping at the polls. If you don't know where to cast your vote, you can head to Kentucky's voter information portal to find your polling place. If you voted by absentee ballot, it is too late now to mail it. You will need to make sure it's in a drop box no later than 6 p.m. tomorrow. And remember, the polls open at 6 a.m. and close at 6 p.m. If you're still in line at 6 p.m., you can still vote. We'll have the results at the bottom of your screen and on WYMT.com all night as they come in. And we always get some quicker than others, so be patient with us. Attorney General Daniel Cameron urges Kentuckians to report suspected election law violations to the Attorney General's election fraud hotline. To report suspected violations, you can call 1-800-328-VOTE. The hotline is active throughout the year and records messages 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. During early voting and on Election Day, the hotline is staffed from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. and calls are answered live. The Breaks Interstate Park will receive more than $358,000 in a grant from the Appalachian Regional Commission for the Ratliff Hole Area Renovation Project. The funds will allow for improved parking and restroom facilities, repaving an access road, and creating a new trail. In addition to ARC funds, local sources will provide approximately $90,000, bringing the total project funding to nearly $450,000. And some Kentucky municipalities, fiscal courts, and universities will receive a portion of nearly $5 million for waste-related projects. The 71 projects to receive funding focus on expanding recycling, reducing the amount of solid waste going into landfills, or improving the environmental management of household hazardous waste. The Bell County Garbage and Refuse, Big Sandy Regional Recycling, City of London, and Pulaski County Fiscal Court are some of the entities in eastern Kentucky receiving funding. Well, Noah Thompson officially made the finale of American Idol last night. They're down to the top 3, and that finale will take place next Sunday night. WYMT's Keaton Hall is in Louisa as preparations for his big homecoming tomorrow are underway.
The stage is being set for hometown idol Noah Thompson's return here in Louisa. Thompson officially made the finale of American Idol last night, cracking the top 3. And tomorrow, he'll be putting on a free concert for his hometown in Louisa at Lawrence Central High School. The festivities start with the parade through downtown Louisa at 7, with the concert immediately following. Dr. Robbie Fletcher is the superintendent for Lawrence County Schools. He says getting ready for a concert in less than 48 hours has been a community effort.
But you're going to see a community that really and truly supports each other. And again, as far as trying to help each other out, truly all in. That's how we roll around here.
Fletcher tells me he expects 2,000 to 3,000 people to come out to Lawrence County High School tomorrow, but has heard estimates of up to 10,000 from American Idol officials.
That was Keaton Hall reporting. Now, for those who cannot get a parking spot at the high school, you will have other options. Buses will be shuttling folks from a parking lot near the Walmart in Louisa. Dr. Fletcher says there will be signs directing traffic.
More showers and storms are on the way as we head later into the work week. You wouldn't know it by looking outside today. The very latest on our chances next at 6.
And National Police Week kicks off this week, and several troopers in the Big Sandy area use the day to remember some of those we have lost through the years.